Hi there, folks. Sean Broderick, and I'm here in sunny West Palm Beach, Florida. Actually, I'm a stone's throw from my office. But that's because this time the good news has come to me. Keith Phillips is the President and Chief Executive Officer of Piedmont Lithium. Now, I have spoken to Piedmont Lithium before. They're an explorer, a developer of lithium in North Carolina. They are actually situated near some important players in the industry, and they have a lot going for them. Keith is going to explain what his company is up to. Could you just speak to my viewers about that?
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Sean. So Piedmont Lithium is listed on NASDAQ and the Australian Stock Exchange, ticker PLL. We are advancing the only conventional lithium deposit in the United States. It's in North Carolina. A lot of people don't know all of the lithium in the world came from North Carolina from the 1950s to the 1980s. Two very large mines operated there for 30 to 50 years, were depleted. Large processing facilities were built by companies that are now Albemarle and Livent, two of the top 5 producers in the world. And those are the only 2 large lithium processing facilities in North America, and they're 6 and 12 miles respectively away from the ore body we're developing. So in 2018, we listed on NASDAQ. We had a maiden resource in June of 16.2 million tons at 1.12%. That's a high grade. And we had a scoping study in September that outlines a 13-year mine life, generating a 46% IRR and an $888 million NPV. So the numbers are fantastic. This year, our objective is to take our mine life from 13 years to 20 plus years. So we have 3 rigs drilling currently. Things are going well. We've had some announcements to date. We'll have more to come. And we've also applied for permits, and we're working on a feasibility study. So we have a scoping study. We may update that mid-year, but we intend to have a definitive feasibility study by the end of the year. We think we could be permitted by the end of the year, and we look out 12 months and see a company with a 20-plus year mine life, 20-plus years of reserves, a permit, and a definitive feasibility study. And we think it's a great opportunity for shareholders to see the stock materially re-rate over that time period.
Wow. You know how to sum this thing up quickly.
Thank you.
You just said in 2 minutes what it takes some people 5 minutes to say. But actually, this is quite interesting. Your company just raised cash, so you have the cash to proceed for the next year, right?
Well, we have all the cash we need. We don't have all the cash we need to finish the feasibility study completely and do all the infill drilling. There's a lot of work to be done. We have 3 rigs working now really on exploration drilling and some infill. But we have all the cash we need to get to an updated scoping study mid-year. What we hope will be a 20-plus year project, and we're talking to a number of strategic and other parties about a variety of financing options to kind of carry us through to a construction decision later this year.
Okay, I've spoken to lots of lithium companies from all over the world, very far-flung places in the world. Your company has an advantage in that it's actually quite close to all sorts of infrastructure and like other things. Could you explain that a bit?
Yeah, we're very fortunate, or our founder was very wise to kind of pursue a project in this region. So we're 25 miles west of Charlotte, North Carolina. Charlotte has a population of 2.4 million people. It's the second fastest growing city in the United States. It's a booming area. We're far enough away that we're in a rural industrial area where developing a project like this is we think, quite viable. And North Carolina, interestingly, is the number 7 mining state in the country. That's something I hadn't known before I got involved in the company. There's a lot of activity. Industrial minerals activity, et cetera. So we're in a very good region, and the infrastructure is built. We're surrounded by highways and railways and power lines, et cetera, fuel of every kind, and the operating costs. So we have CapEx advantage from that perspective. We also have an operating cost advantage because our transportation distances will be short. There are no state mining royalties in North Carolina. We're operating on private land. We have reasonable labor rates in the southeastern United States. And we have very low-cost power, electricity, diesel, natural gas, et cetera. So you think about all the inputs that go into a mining project and a chemical project. We're in a very advantaged location. Many of our peers are great companies with great assets and great management teams, but their assets tend to be more remotely located, either in northern Quebec, in Western Australia. Again, great ore bodies and companies. Argentina, up to 14,000 feet. So we're very fortunate. We think we have the best located lithium project in the world, and I think that's hard to argue against. And our job now is to kind of convert that to a buildable project over the next year.
Well, you folks know how I like the best in things, and yes, their location is really supreme. But let me ask you your outlook on the lithium market as a whole, because actually it's been quite like snoozing for a while. What do you think is going to happen
I wish it had been snoozing. It's actually been quite disappointing. It's been worse than snoozing. So in 2018, the average pre-production lithium company stock was down 68%.
Mm-hmm.
We were down 53%. We were the second best performing non-producing lithium company, which is, for that to be down 53% is disappointing. There's a small group of investors and commentators who have a point of view that there will be a flood of lithium supply. And that while everyone agrees demand will grow dramatically because of electric vehicles, some believe there will be too much supply too fast. I do not believe that. I think most informed observers do not believe that. Albemarle announced earnings last night, fourth quarter earnings, and they commented that they're seeing strong pricing heading into next year. I think the market will eventually wake up to the fact that the lithium market's very tight. Mining and chemical projects tend to be difficult to bring on stream. We've seen some evidence of that lately.
Mm-hmm.
And for the last half a dozen years, every commentator has underestimated lithium demand and overestimated lithium supply. Every single year, I'm confident that'll be the same case this year. So I think the fundamentals are exceptionally good and exceptionally favorable. And I think the broader market will come to realize that. And I think all lithium equities will be re-rated over the course of the next year or so.
Well, that really wraps it up well. I'll just remind folks of the symbol PLL on the NASDAQ, right?
Yep.
And so this is actually quite accessible to U.S. investors. We will take a closer look at it, so you folks stay tuned for that. Thanks very much for speaking to my viewers. Is there anything you'd like to add before we go?
No, I appreciate it. I'd be happy to talk to anybody anytime through Sean, and I really appreciate the opportunity.
All right, great. You folks stay tuned. I'll have more for you. This is Sean Burdick in West Palm Beach.